Hey, good morning there, Sweet Peas. Basic Prepper Mom Myra. So we are having, I don't want to call it a town hall, but we're having a meeting tonight with our local sheriff at one of the groups is sponsoring it in our county. I'm just going to say that. I don't want to get political or anything, but one of our groups in the county is sponsoring this talk. And basically the talk is going to be about repealing Prop 47. I think it's 47, 46, 47, 47. I always get them confused. Anyway, a lot of props out there. And that is the initiative, the bill, the whatever that was passed stating that anything under $1,000, whether it's theft, shoplift, burglary, drugs, whatever, anything under $1,000 is basically considered a misdemeanor, and it's a ticket and here, show up in court kind of thing if you get caught. So they're trying to repeal that because we have had so much theft going on. I myself have witnessed in the last year, at least on 4 occasions, just myself witnessed shoplifting and theft and just people walking out the store with stuff and nobody coming after them. One person that was in our local Wally World, the greeters at the front door actually stopped them. They had a cart full of stuff, like it was piled, like they had an electric scooter shoved in there, like they had a pile of stuff in there, and they actually blocked him from going out, and he ended up leaving, taking off without the stuff. So, but I guarantee you that they got reprimanded for that. I guarantee you that they got in trouble. I had an incident at a local grocery store that my son works at where people were trying to steal groceries. They were throwing them in the back of their black BMW. And I was taking pictures. The manager came out. They literally tried to back over him and myself. If we would not have moved out of the way quickly, they would have hit us. Just to get away. But stores have already pulled out of areas in Oakland. Stores and restaurants decided we're done. We're out of here. Too much theft. Not doing it. Too much crime. We know that stores, grocery stores and so forth in, I think, was it Philadelphia? Now I can't remember. Have pulled out of areas. And we're going to see that more and more. Our stores here have started locking everything up behind glass cases. The whole entire, not that this is a huge, I mean, I know that this is probably a huge theft issue or situation, but for me, whatever. The whole makeup aisle is behind glass doors now, and you have to ask somebody to help, and they have a register right there at the end, so you get whatever you get in there, in that little cubby, you have to check out. But the automotive and the tool section, same thing. Everything, all the stuff that people can just take, locked up behind glass cases, and that's what we're going to start looking into, or that's what we're going to start seeing. The next step is going to be stores pulling out of our areas because of crime. Typically when you take, at least the one that I took, a CCW class, concealed carry class, they tell you, if you are in a situation where you're in an area where you're being robbed or burglarized or somebody's trying to carjack you, whatever the situation, it is not worth your life to defend property. Property is replaceable. Do not defend yourself for property. Okay? Don't do it. Just hand over what you need to hand over, because everything can be replaceable, but your life cannot be replaceable. They stress that. They can't stress that enough. It is not worth your life. Well, let me tell you, it is going to get to the point where it's going to get that way because people are getting tired of it, number one. And number two, it is affecting my survival and my pocketbook. When you have stores that are continually suffering a loss, then everything else in the store, all the food and everything, we'll just say grocery stores, all of the food gets jacked up. Well, we know that we have a price increase anyway, right? Everything is just going off the chart, over the roof, whatever, or over the top, whatever, in cost anyway. When you add loss onto that, somebody's going to have to pay for that somehow. Somebody is going to have to reimburse the stores, right? They can't take huge losses like that. So they raise the prices of all the stuff in there. Ultimately, I have to now pay more money to buy food to put on the table to feed my family. I now have to provide, more food or more money to be able to get and buy the things that I need to get, and I'm paying for it legally, while some Joe Schmo out there on the street can just walk in and walk out. I've seen underage kids walk out with literally giant bottles of liquor. How is that not? Oh, I mean, really? It's very frustrating. So we're going to get to a point where people are going to start standing up. Now, the other issue is a lot of these stores and managers and stuff, they don't want to waste law enforcement time. And I've heard them say that. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. We don't want to waste their time. Then they have to file a report over like $60, $70, $80, $500, whatever it is. We don't want to waste law enforcement's time. So we're just not. Like, I just can't. It's, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. We report the losses and then that's it. Well, I'm sorry, but we're going to start getting away from that either. And when you have law enforcement in your community, their job is to serve and protect. Law enforcement's job is to serve and protect. That means serve and protect the community from whatever situation is happening that hinders them, that hurts them, whatever. Sorry, my camera's being really weird today. Or my camera holder. Hold on. There we go. So when you have law enforcement area, and let me tell you, I support LEOs. If there's an LEO in trouble, I am going to be there 100% to do what I can to protect them. I do not want to ever see an incident happen or family go through what we went through as a community back in October of 2019. Never, ever, ever, ever want our community to ever go through that again. Definitely do not want to see loved ones and people that I care about go through that either. Again. So their job is to serve and protect. If they are not making reports every time something gets stolen, a loss, a theft, whatever, then how are we going to know how to get more funding, how to get more LEOs to protect that community, to serve and protect that community? And I understand there are situations where places and areas don't want those numbers getting out. We don't want to be a high crime area. We don't want to be considered a high crime area, because then that affects the housing, that affects tourism, that affects whatever your community is known for or whatever. So I understand that we really don't want the papers or the numbers down on paper. We really don't want to know what's going on. Like, we know what's going on, but we really don't want to know what's going on, because then it makes our area look bad. Well, if you don't make your area look bad, how are you going to get the help and the funding to be able to fix that in your area? Because the more you turn a blind eye to it, the more it's going to happen. And there's going to be more and more stores that are going to pull out of communities, that are going to pull out of areas, and those areas are going to be destitute. Sorry, my words and my brain and my mouth are not all going together this morning. There are going to be areas that it is absolutely going to hurt them. So would you much rather be real and honest with the numbers, do something about it, protect and serve your community like you have signed up for, like you stated an oath to do, and make sure that you get the help and get the support and get the funding and get whatever you need to make sure that that community is safe? Or would you rather just turn a blind eye and let those numbers continue to rise, let those numbers continue to go up, and let there at one point be an outnumbered law enforcement versus criminals? Because that's what's going to happen if we turn a blind eye to this. I don't care how minor. If it's somebody that is stealing food because they need food, they are hungry, they don't know what to do, they're trying to feed their family, I have sympathy. Absolutely 100%. If that's the case, I will buy you food. I will do what I can to help you. But when you steal groceries and then load them in the trunk of a newer black, nice BMW, maybe it was stolen, maybe it's not, I don't have a lot of sympathy for you. If you are breaking into a store and stealing multiple cell phones, that's not telling me that you have a need. That's telling me that you might have a drug problem and you're selling this to get the cash so you can buy your drugs. And there's a difference in all of that. But we need to stand up and do what we can. We need to absolutely support law enforcement, but we need to support law enforcement to do the right thing. We need to support law enforcement to make sure that they have enough funding and to make sure that they have enough LEOs to protect and serve the community that they are under. We are going to see increasing amounts of violence, not just theft, increasing amounts of violence. And we're going to see an increasing number of people standing up because we are fed up, we are tired. We, the people, are pissed off, and it's going to continue to go. So we need to make sure that we're prepared. What are we willing to do, and how far are we willing to go to protect our property, ourselves, our lives, our families, our food, our survival? What are we willing to do? What are you willing to do? How much are you willing to step up? What do we need to do? We need to start having these conversations with local law enforcement. Sheriffs need to get together and realize that they are there to protect and serve. And as community members, we are there to support those who protect and serve us. All right, that's what I have to say. Sorry, it was a bit of a rant, but this is what's going on. And y'all need to be thinking about this because it's happening more and more frequently. And it's sad. It's scary. I understand. I don't want to be a doomsdayer. I don't want to be a fear tactic person, but I think that we're going to see this increase. All right. Once again, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out. I hope you guys have a wonderful, amazing day, and we'll talk to you soon.